Hello, beautiful souls. I trust you guys are doing so well today. I am so excited to start posting again and pulling readings and guidance and messages. It's been the little nudges. The little nudges have been coming, and finally, while I was traveling, Spirit is like, it is time. So I'm actually really excited to connect with you guys through readings, through providing you guys messages to help you with whatever you're moving through. So if this is your first time here, my name is Colleen, aka Shamama Colleen. I will be pulling some cards today. We'll get into what today's topic is in a second, but before we move on, I just want to say I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about disclaimers, but I do want to say that I will never be in your DMs asking you for a reading, so please do not get scammed. And the other thing is, while you're listening to these messages, allow your intuition to just guide you through what is meant for you, what the messages actually means, because different words, different sentences, whatever I'm saying, even if I'm talking about myself, it will resonate differently with everybody, okay? And the other thing I want to say is I am outside, so if you're picking up on anything, whether it's birds chirping, cars, alarms, that is all meant to serve as a sign, okay? So without further ado, let me start the reading. I wanted to take off I don't like recording without my eyes on, because I'm I want to be able to see you guys. But it's really sunny outside, so I'm gonna keep my glasses on, and the sun is shining, which also slay. So today we are going to get into it's gonna be actually a relationship love pull. No, love is platonic, romantically, friendships, it doesn't matter. But the question that came up is, why did this relationship end? So we're gonna ask the cards and we're gonna see what comes up, okay? So why did whoever's listening, why did the relationship end? What does Spirit have to say about that? Already 2 cards. I don't read reversals unless they come up, but okay, this is you guys. Okay, why did that relationship end? I think it's very clear. It's very clear. You guys are not going to be able to see all the cards, but that's okay. I'm gonna move them in 3s. So point blank, y'all, this is what it started, okay? I'm gonna tell you guys exactly how your relationship started, and then we're gonna move into how it actually looked like. So right away it felt like, oh my god, this is it. I think this is what I've been calling in. I have the Page of Wands here, which is literally, Wands is fire energy, right? So this is a new inspiration, new idea. It's I'm seeing in the desert, so I'm hearing sand, take that how you will. I am technically somewhere where there's ocean and water and beach. So this relationship may have started overseas. Yeah, it may have started overseas. It may have been long distance. It may have started one person could have been by living by somewhere where it's sandy, beachy, it doesn't matter. But I'm literally feeling I'm hearing one person specifically lived in a desert area, or in an area where it's dry heat, right? And that's kind of how you met, right? But you also could have met through, it's not unfortunate circumstances, but you definitely could have met through unconventional circumstances. But how you met is not going to the club or going to the cafe or meeting this person. It could have started online, but I'm hearing specifically overseas. And you're okay, this feels like it. I think this is what I've been calling in. I'm hearing specifically, I think this is what I've been calling in. This is what my next, what my next inspiration, idea, creativity, this is where my next fire and investment is supposed to go into. And remember the word investment, right? But then when you got into it, you kind of felt because we have the Hanged Man here, and the Hanged Man here actually came in reverse. You got into it, and why you wanted to get into it is actually because you felt you felt stuck in your life. That was a car alarm, so that was someone out there. You felt stuck in your life, and I want to say romantically, but also like with investment, I heard financially. So it may have been that you went into it thinking like, y'all, this is gonna sound crazy, but you may have been thinking like this is a good like financial investment. I'm hearing like you value. They're telling me to talk about my sun sign. I'm a Taurus. You know, earth signs, y'all, we value stability, security. So a lot of the times, you know, if that is what you're valuing, you could be an earth sign. But if, let's just say that those are your core values is stability, security, money, financial security, it means that you're going to go into a relationship more logically than emotionally, right? And because of that, you're like, oh, like, you know, like, let's just try it. And this could actually be a good investment moving forward, not just like love wise, but also like financially, right? Like it means like double income, double like, which means you have more chances to like, for example, like settle down, build a foundation. Like, so you kind of went into that relationship thinking that way. And you felt stuck, within yourself. So you're like, no, let me try this, right? So then how it first started is there was a lot of like giving and receiving, right? Like you're in that honeymoon phase and you're like, wow, this is amazing. This is also like really healing my inner child, because I feel like I wasn't really poured into. And then this is when things started like taking a toll, which instead of like it being a stable investment, you felt like you were actually losing. Five of Pentacles here is money, but it feels like you were actually losing money. And it feels like you were actually losing, like what was supposed to be an investment actually started like draining your account. Like, you know what I mean? And then that became a burden. And this 10 of Cups, which was supposed to be 10 of Cups, it actually became like, not, you thought this is what, like, we're ending with the 10 of Cups, but this is actually what you wanted. You wanted this ever, like this loving ever after, what's the word, family, like fairy tale kind of ending, you know. But it wasn't that. It actually caused a lot of burden. It made you question certain things. And then even financially, you felt less stable and secure within the relationship. So it actually ended because it was not serving you. Like I'm hearing, and I have someone in my, not in my life, but someone that I know that logically is actually moving, like going into a relationship logically and not emotionally. So when you move into a relationship like that, your soul and your spirit, your inner child, your body's not actually in it. You're thinking with the mind instead of your soul, your gut, you know, your intuition. And that is, I'm gonna be blunt and say this, that is not the best way to enter a relationship, because your body and how it serves you as a whole, it's not actually serving, right? It's serving, let's say, the matrix version of you, but you as a whole, as an internal being, that doesn't actually serve you, right? So it makes sense why it ended, or a lot of relationships that start like that end, because it's more contractual. And what do you call it? It's like a business arrangement, but it's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be a contract. You should be entering into a relationship with love, with expansion, feeling like this is my person. Even if you're moving through ups and downs, it shouldn't be like a good financial decision. It shouldn't be like, oh yeah, I want a house next, so this is gonna help me get there. Like, you know what I mean? Or I want to double my income so I can do more things. That's not how you should be entering a relationship, okay? So we're gonna put the 10 of Cups here and then see what other cards pop up here. I'm actually hearing to pull from this deck. I actually had a question before I started pulling from this deck. I had a question, because the question was, why did this relationship end? I'm gonna hear, what did you need to learn? What did they need to learn within this relationship? So it ended, but what was the ultimate lesson? Okay. the King of Wands is here, right? And the King of Wands is like a leader, very inspired leader. There's also like a little bit of like a Taurus on the card. You guys are gonna see this deck in a lot of readings because this is my favorite deck, and this is the one my ancestors, come through easily with when it comes to like messages, and they communicate with me through this deck. But I heard like a lot of you guys, what you needed to learn. I'm hearing a lot of you placed your inspiration, creativity, your leadership, even how you saw yourself, you felt as yourself. I'm hearing like you felt you're not inspiring enough. You felt that you always needed someone to inspire you to basically create a stable foundation, or to show you that you are a leader, to show you that you deserve. It's not only to be poured into, but you can create what you want to create, right? Because when it comes to fire is quick acting, but like fire also, like in our body, it's things that it gets things moving, right? It speeds things up. So it's like you didn't trust your own gut, your own fire, your own inspiration, and because of that, you place that in a lot of like other people's hands. And that's what this relationship really came here to teach you, is that like you can enter a relationship, thinking logically and thinking they're going to help you with this, but ultimately you are the one that is going to lead, inspire. You're the one that needs to trust your gut, your intuition, your passion, right? This card was popped up, and that's like 5 of Wands. Guys, wands. Like it is the element here is fire, which means you could also be like a fire sign. I'm hearing rising, right? So it's like when you approach things, it's very impulsive, which also makes sense with the Page of Wands here. It's like, let's just dive in before we think, but they're like, let's lean more to the earth sign a little bit, and let's think about it a little bit logically before we just jump in, right? And that's also why the 5 of Pentacles come here, right? It's like you're looking for foundation, but it's like you're not setting the steps to build the foundation. You're jumping in like impulsively. It's like the analogy they're giving me is buying a house. You go to buy a house and you're like, yeah, I just want to buy a house. And you don't look at what you want. You don't look at like what colors, where. You don't look at like how much it's gonna be. You're just like, I just want to buy a house. And then the first one that comes on the market, without looking, you buy it. That's kind of like and then you're like, yeah, I'll just figure it out. At least I have a house, right? But they're like, it needs a little bit more thought process. It needs a little bit more planning, is what they're saying. So with the 5 of Wands coming here in reverse, there is a lot of like tension when it comes to believing in yourself, believing in your abilities, believing. It's like you're competing with yourself and your mind, because the 5 of Wands is like, yeah, it's competition with other people, but I'm hearing this is like self-competition. It could be like the multiple parts of you fighting against themselves, and you feel like there's multiple parts of you that are fighting for attention or fighting for to be heard. And that's what this relationship also came to teach you, but was trying to highlight, is the multiple parts of yourself that you have to honor, because all of those ties into you feeling like you're able to lead, you're able to inspire, you're able to trust yourself, your gut, right? And the Page of Cups comes out here, and it's in reverse, and the Page of Cups is like being curious, inner child. It's literally like curiosity. It's your inner child. It's being able to try new things, but like feel confident to try new things. But it's not in a sense of impulse, right? Not in a sense of impulse and fear, because they're like, if this was upright, they're like, you're trying things, but it's out of fear, right? But it has to be out of like inner child curiosity, a child that like is so like amazed by the world and wants to try things and trusts his intuition and his gut, right? So that relationship really highlighted how much you didn't trust yourself, you didn't trust your gut, you didn't trust your intuition. But also I think a part of it made you feel like, oh, maybe I can't be curious. And they're like, no, it's not that you can't be curious. You just have to make sure you check in with yourself to make sure it is actually aligned with your fire, with your gut, before jumping into things. And the Judgment here in reverse, Judgment is like enlightenment. It's like moving up. It's ascension, right? But they're like, you haven't learned, y'all. They're like, you have not learned. You have not learned the lesson. It is in reverse. You haven't learned the lesson. It is in reverse. And the Seven of Wands, let's reshuffle. And the sun is coming out after I said, you haven't learned your, after I said, you haven't learned your lesson. It's in reverse. Seven of Cups. Yeah, it's like I'm hearing you're not choosing wisely. You're not choosing wisely. You have not learned the lesson. And if you're listening to this and you're like, yup, or, oh man, like, I just feel like, you know, like I have to like rush with these choices. They're like, no, because that's actually creating all this stagnancy, and that's so there you go. Seven of Wands came upright. That's creating all this stagnancy and creating all this confusion is your energy, is because, like, yeah, the relationship ended, but you actually haven't learned why it ended. And part of why it's ended is really the big lesson here is making sure you're really analyzing your choice, choosing wisely. And also that comes from trusting yourself, your gut, your inner fire. And then with the Seven of Wands here, that is, I'm hearing it's like combating. Yeah, I heard it's like victory in combat, but no, it's almost like, so here she's, let me show you what it is. It's like she's, oh my God, this is amazing. Here you're holding the stick. She's kind of like looking behind, well, looking up. It's like a little bit of curious energy. It's like, okay, let's try it. Here she's holding one stick, but there's a bunch of things behind, which is like guarded, but these are like barriers, right? But then now look, so everything has kind of been like to the side, or the sticks are behind. Now look, she has a stick and she's facing it. It's like you're facing it head on. Whatever adversity, it's like you're taking that power back in your hands and you're choosing to face it head on. And then the strength card coming after that is literally what is going to give you the strength to move on and to learn the Hierophant. Yeah, it's going to give you the strength. Not only that, it's not only going to give you the strength to move on, but it is also going to help you moving forward in making better decisions. And that is also what's going to turn you into this role model and leader, so that you can trust yourself, your own role model, your own leader. But then it's also what's going to bring you this, because the Hierophant falls right underneath the Judgment right here. It's like, they're like, you're so close. So in order for you to ultimately get like what you actually came to clear, before you find what you're actually looking for, you have to move through these things, right? Yeah, and the Hierophant coming out here, this also gives like Taurus energy. It could be that like I'm not hearing, you could be, right? But what I'm hearing specifically is you are, because when I think of earth signs are not impulsive, you guys. We are not. We take our time, and it's with the logic. So it's almost like the person you were with was an earth sign, could have been an earth sign, could have been older than you, is what I heard. With the Hierophant, which also would make sense. It's kind of like you're trying something new. I don't want to say sugar daddy, you guys, but you know how like women or men, we don't discriminate here, it doesn't matter. Date older people because it's like, oh, it's more stable, it's better, they have this, da, 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 da. That's kind of the mindset you went in with. And they're like, babe, you are your own sugar daddy. That's basically what Spirit is saying. Okay, so that is that. I am going to, let's pull from this deck and see what comes up. Let's see if any cards come up from this deck. You guys, what did I just say? It could have been an older man, sugar daddy, I heard. You want to know what card came up? You can't make it up. Father healing. father healing, why you have this kind of relationship, you know, with men and all these things. You have some daddy issues you need to resolve, and it makes sense if you're feeling more attracted to older men and you want a man to provide for you security. You didn't have that growing up. You felt like your father did not provide that security. Or the other thing could be that you romanticize, and you guys, like, as kids, like, you do romanticize your parents' love or your dad. It's almost like you're searching for that, but you have to learn that, like, not everybody's love is actually for you, right? Just because someone's relationship worked this way doesn't mean that way is going to work for you. So it says your personal power increases as you give any father related issues to heaven. So I'm not even going to go more into this, but I'm hearing, as you are hearing this, you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to, like, healing your relationship with your dad. You have daddy wounds, and we all do, and that's okay. But that is also what is causing this lack of trust in yourself, in your intuition, in your leadership abilities, and making you not choose wisely when it comes to relationships and stuff. So let's see what else comes up. Self-forgiveness and have faith. So you need to forgive yourself, let go of old guilt. I'm hearing guilt, self-forgiveness. You have been holding a lot of resentment when it comes to your dad for a reason, and you kind of have to forgive yourself for that. It's almost like you have held a lot of anger towards your dad, but has shamed yourself for holding that anger towards your dad, right? And that's one. And forgiving him, forgiving yourself, and then also having faith that you are, hold on, before I continue, let me see what else comes up. Ooh. Yeah, it's like you feel like you're, and this is why the Hangman came up. It feels like you're stuck. You feel like you can't break free. You feel like you're going in this loop, which is why, you guys, we keep repeating the same cycles and patterns over and over until we learn. So you feel like you are trying different things, and it makes sense, right? Like with Page of Cups in reverse, and even you being impulsive, and you're like, okay, I need to try different things, but then you're trying and it's not working. It's actually keeping you in the same cycles, and you're kind of like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Excuse my French. But they're like, have faith, because you are breaking free. You are moving forward. We just need to refine certain things, okay? And then let's see one card here. Treat your body like the palace it is. So some of you could suffer, I feel like a lot of people do, but I'm going to say this out loud, with a lot of body image issues, which is why, you guys, I just heard your dad shamed you growing up when it came to your body. And this is part of why a lot of you guys don't feel confident in yourself and your leadership, and also why you could be going for older men as well, because you're thinking they're more mature, they're not going to shame you for these things. Like younger people are, a little bit more superficial. It could be your mindset, but they're like, babes, everything is just a mirror. Start treating yourself how you want to be treated, and it will mirror that back to you. And it starts with you treating your body the way you want actual men to treat you, right? And in this card, what's behind her? There's a sand and a castle, and I mentioned sand in the beginning. That, if that's not confirmation, I don't know what that is. But forgive again, y'all. Forgive again came out. Forgive again. You need to have a forgiving ritual for yourself, for your dad, for everything that happened in the past. Let this be your invitation to do that, because that's what's keeping you stuck, love. That is what is keeping you sad. That is what is keeping you in these cycles. That is what's keeping you from trusting yourself and your decisions. Wow. And then they said it's time for healing, not war. So it probably feels like you were in war and fighting with not just yourself, but with the multiple parts of yourself that want to move on, but the parts that want to, oh, a white butterfly. My birth mom passed away, and she comes to me in butterflies. So every time I see a butterfly, I will say, hi mom. Where was I going with this? Right. Different parts of yourself have been wanting to move on, parts of yourself have been wanting to hold on to it. So they're saying, babes, it is time for healing, not war. You got to let it go. It is time to let it go. It is time to move on. Okay, that is, yeah. And again with the castle, it's almost like, yeah, this is relating to foundation. It's like you're trying to create the home. You're trying to recreate the home that you didn't have growing up, but it just feels like everything just keeps crumbling, right? And it's like you're picking up dirt, and maybe this is why the sand came up. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. I trust this was exactly what you needed to hear, and it will be the push that you need to hear to move forward, to start healing, start refining those things so you can attract that relationship that you're wanting, but then also move forward and know that you are the leader. You can trust your gut, you can trust yourself, and not have to rely on other people. And it's not that you're relying on other people. It's safe to rely on other people and be interdependent with them, but codependency and then being too independent is two extremes, right? So you got to meet in the middle. Anyway, so that is all I have for you guys for today. I trust this was expansive and felt so amazing to hear and to listen to and confirming. I personally love readings and tarot because it's like sometimes you know things or you sense things, and then you hear someone else say it and you're like, okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Okay, we're moving forward. So I trust that this was it for you, and I will catch you guys on the next reading. I just want to thank your guides, source, ancestors, anybody that was in this space, assisting and bringing forth amazing messages and confirmations for you guys. Thank you guys, and I love you guys. I will catch you guys later. Bye.